Hi everybody! I'm going to be working today in this inspirations journal that I've been working on. It took me forever to do the cover. Hopefully you followed along and saw, but I'm pretty happy with the cover as it is. I think it's pretty interesting. I noticed that this was kind of not glued down completely on the back, so I'm going to glue that down. But I am finally ready to kind of break this in, and I have all of these beautiful book pages that I made all those rolling pages for. And so I'm going to open this up, and today I'm going to do a journal spread, and what I'm going to write in here is like, this book is all going to be centered around inspirations and things that are quotes that are inspiring to me. And so I'm super excited, and the first quote is a quote by William Wordsworth, and it is, "Fill your pages with the breathings of your heart," which I thought was a very, very beautiful sentiment for a junk journal. I did not grab a pencil. Let me find a pencil. This is the way things have been going for me lately, is just really cannot find the things that I need when I need them. So what I'm going to do with this is, I think I'm just gonna, I really wanted to just put some watercolor or some sort of water substrate down on these pages. I've been super excited to do that, and I haven't, because I've been waiting so that I could do that here with you guys, and the time has come. So is what I'm going to do. I think this will be beautiful. This is the first page. I'm going to skip the title page for right now. I'll probably write a title. But I have this stencil. I've actually never used this stencil. And I think is what I want to do is I'm just going to make a whole bunch of hearts. I hope I can see this, because this is a white Stabilo pencil. And I'm hoping if I make hearts, I'll be able to see them. I was going to use a pencil, but then I saw this and I figured, why not use this? And then I'm just going to color these in, and I have some Inktense. I said watercolor. I have some Inktense. They're a water-soluble ink, kind of a pastel. And that's what I'm going to be using. I am going to grab something that I can actually see, because that did not stand out quite as much as I would have hoped. So can I find just a pencil? So what I'm hoping here is that I can find a pencil, which I have one. I have one pencil. I have so many writing utensils, and I do have one pencil around. This is a very nice pencil. Okay. So I just want to make these. These are all going to be the same size, obviously. And I'm going to make them all different colors, and I think it's going to be really lovely. I thought about making a stencil that was just like a heart from this, so I didn't have to do this way. And that might have been the smart thing to do. Let me just go back over this guy. Anyway, this will be a background, and I'll add the quote on the top of this. But I just wanted to do something fun with lots of color in here. and just kind of see how different mediums kind of start to look on top of all these different book pages. And also, this is just kind of a fun little watercolor exercise. I'm going to keep calling it watercolor even though it's not. Just drawing in these hearts. They're all going to overlap. We'll make them all just a rainbow of beautiful colors, whatever we feel like. And they're going to overlap, and we'll see how those colors kind of play together. I kind of wanted the hearts to be consistent. I would not myself be able to make consistently heart-shaped things, so that's why I'm using the stencil. You know how it goes. Just filling in the paper. With some heart shapes to go with this beautiful quote by William Wordsworth. I'm going to keep calling him that. Trying to get a good bit of overlap on these. Like I said, am super excited to just try these mediums on my junk journal. This is going to be kind of a more artsy kind of a spread than junky kind of a spread. I think this is going to be more of an artsy kind of a journal than a junky kind of a journal. Let's go with that and see. Not too sure how I feel about how I've overlapped these hearts, but you know, like I said, we'll see. So the idea would be, and I have a couple, I have these like Neocolor II crayons. These are great. They're like they look like crayons. They're kind of adult crayons, but they're water soluble. So when you hit them with water, they're going to dissolve and spread out. And these are Inktenses, and they are, you can get these in pencils. They're Derwent Inktense blocks, and again, these are also water soluble, so they'll kind of bleed and make, but this is the Neocolor, and I get my brush out, and you can see you can kind of start to push that. This is going to give kind of a more waxy sort of a finish on it, which is really nice. It finishes really nice. And then these are going to be a bit more dry. I'm going to start with a red, I think, right here in the middle. And this is kind of more of a purple. And I might use both of these. We'll see. And one of the cool things about this is, and I should have started with lighter colors, perhaps. Maybe. I don't know. Probably should have started with lighter colors instead of like picking one of the darker colors to start with. And I'm just going to decide how much of this I actually want to fill in and how much I want to leave as like highlights that will fill in once I get this wet. And I might find something to put underneath this just because I'm drawing on lace now, and it's not super making me happy. So let me find something to stick under here. This shouldn't be that hard. I'm just having a day. Having a day. Here we go. I have a cutting mat. It's a small cutting mat. That'll be fine. I wonder if I have anything I put under the other side of this. There you go. That'll also kind of help keep any wetness from spreading. I'm going to go into these too because this is where my lighter colors are going to live. I think everything over here is a little bit darker than I wanted in the colors that I have. I guess I can do like yellow right away. This is going to give nice, good, saturated colors. Let's go back in here now that we have something underneath here. This is going to be fun to work with, guys, because this is kind of, I didn't glue down all these tags. One thing I might do going forward is put down just some matte medium on these pages before I start, just to hold everything down on these already collaged pages, and then, you know, yes. I was looking for a pink. Do I not have a pink? Wow. Why don't I see a pink? Pink. This is salmon. I have this so I can do like lighter skin tones specifically. Rose. This is rose. I guess that's as close as we're going to get to a bubblegummy pink in my set. Wow, I didn't realize it was going to be. So I'm just kind of randomly choosing colors that I might want to work with, and obviously I am going between the Inktense and the Neocolors, and I'm just coloring in these hearts that I've put down using the template or stencil. And I guess one thing I could do instead of filling in the hearts completely, and you could do this with paint as well, and it'd be kind of fun. I wanted to see how these colors were going to blend where they overlap. Was kind of one of the fun parts about this for me. Was going ahead and seeing that. One thing you might want to do, and I haven't played with these for a long time, is just do kind of an outline and not fill in all the way to the center of the hearts, and let the watercolor magic kind of happen to fill that in. So maybe I'll leave this one kind of only partially filled in, and fill in the rest with this. So we can go from this purpley color to a blue, I think. And let's try this blue. Wow, I'm really happy about this. Because the cover of this book was so pink and so just pink, and it's got this beautiful plum burgundy color. And I was afraid, really, that I was going to get stuck in this idea that the whole inside of the book needed to be pink. But I think, or very vintage, and I think by the time I've gotten around to this, I have apparently let go of that idea. So I am pleased to say that. I want to find something that will go both with this orange and this color. What do you guys suggest here? You can go back with a red, but we've already used red. So what other color? I think red. This is kind of more purple. Let's go red right here in the center. Red. And I'm going to use the Neocolor for the red of this heart. And I think it's fine because that's purple. I think that'll go very well. I don't know what's going to happen over here. With the yellow and the purple together, they're walking some lines here. Maybe I should have planned this and gone a little bit more, you know, from one color to the next, but, you know, this is fun. This is exciting. We'll see what we get as we go. Okay. So let's go back to what we think is going to go with red. We could go pink. We already have pink. We have yellow. We have orange. We could go purple again. Let's go yellow again to just kind of mirror that. And then I'll make this orange here, potentially. Give us some orange tones. I'm just going to go over the top of that and see what happens. And it is kind of, I can see it turning orange a little bit. I think is what's going to happen is it's going to be orange like here. I love these Neocolors because they give such a soft, silky kind of a finish to your projects once you've kind of smeared them around. And, you know, it's fun because they're like crayons, and it's like I'm playing with a fancy crayon here today. It feels really good. Just, they're really smooth. And then maybe I will go with kind of a lighter blue here. And I don't know if this one's going to be lighter. We might be kind of stuck in the world of the Neocolors for lighter colors. The thing I can do is just not put it on as heavy, right? That's a very blue. This is just going to be a blue side of the page. My heart is feeling a little blue here. We'll see how these like mix together here. I'm excited. Playing with color. This is very experimental here is what you're hearing. Yes? Okay, great. Okay. I can also add white. We'll see what happens. I'm going to start with the lighter colors and just add some water and kind of move these colors around. So I'm starting with the yellows here and there, and just like it a lot. That is very pretty. You think it looks like orange or yellow highlighter? Is that what you're saying? Okay, maybe, especially on top of this book page. I am going to go in here and mix these two together, and it is making orange. Very lovely. So I'm going to clean the brush a little bit and come over here and go into this yellow over here and just pull it along and see what happens. It might turn a little bit gray actually if the especially in this really lighter pigment of yellow, and it's pulling that book page up. And again, going forward, especially if I'm doing something wet over the top of these, I'm probably going to go in and just do a matte medium. So I'm going to go ahead and skip to this red one because I think this color is just going to be absolutely stunning. This is such a fun medium to work with. One fun thing you can do is go back in and do a little bit of just crayon and leave it like it's crayon and it's got that nice crayon texture over the top after this is dried. As I'm working to kind of work all of that out. There we go. That's what we're talking about. You see that? Like, Very pretty. Okay. Let's clean that out. Lighter colors. I guess we can go over here and do the pink before we finish anything else over there. Don't dip it right into the purple though. Christina, I saw that. I think. Yes. I don't remember honestly now which ones were the Inktense and which ones were the Neocolors. So, there you go. Just working this in, blending it, all the ink, activating all of the pigment, and then just moving it around. Very nice. Okay. Let's do the purple and then I'll come back and mix those two. Mix this orange, come all the way around to where this is in the corner. Okay. I like that where it's kind of turned orange, where those are mixed. I didn't know if it was going to do that or not. And I really love this purple on this particular paper. Oh, it looks so pretty. So we're going to get a lot of mixing here, which is kind of cool. So like on all of these, this looks so different on all of these papers. Just the way it's moving, which is also, I mean, part of the reason I was super excited to do this was because of just the ability to work on so many different kinds of paper, and for one project, because they're all different. I love the way this purple looks on this one paper. Okay, so we'll pull that out now. This one is definitely not as absorbent as some of the others. Look at that. Just blend those together. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, let's mix this. Like there's this color shift where it's going into this other book page. And it's just a totally different color. Totally different. And part of it's just because it's like seeing this purple, but like, I mean, the shift here and there and the like texturing on this page is so pretty right in here. Beautiful. All right, let's get this blue. I kind of love that, how that blue kind of stuck around in the red, where the red wasn't as thick. This is such a meditative and beautiful kind of an activity. I think it's going to just end there. I think that's all she wrote. Okay. Get a little bit more there around the edge. Okay. Clean that out. That has already mixed that orange. So we're missing that edge. Coloring inside the lines today, as much as we can. I feel like I need rules today. I need lines today. Today is a good day for lines. I've already like not been able to find the camera, not been able to find a pencil, you know. Might be time to clean up the studio a little bit. Yeah, that day will come tomorrow. Or the next day, or next week. Probably not until next week, honestly. The way things are going around here. It's just going to be a busy couple of weeks. Okay, so I have gotten all of these colored in. And that was it everything that I hoped this would be. Yes, I am really loving the way that these different papers are kind of coming together and allowing me to play with different mediums. I'm ecstatic about this. I think this is looking pretty good. I am gonna let that dry for a moment, and while I am letting that dry, I am gonna write out my quote, and I need to decide. I will probably just write it, I guess, in black. Well, as it would be, I love this vellum paper that I have, and I cut it down, and it is not as see-through as I wanted. I wanted to be able to see through this. So I went ahead and I cut a different one, and this is just a plain one. It doesn't have a print on it. There was a different print one, which also was good for seeing through. And I think is what I want to do is attach this into the center of here, and I think it will look really, really cool with the hearts. And the only problem is if I write on this, you're going to see it on the back side. And it is going to be Also, what's that called? I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be backwards on the backside. We'll see if we like it. I'm going to do it. Do it, do it, do it. Other ways we could fix this, we could back this onto something else. I thought about writing it on like a baggie. I might use this to make the hinge that attaches this to this. We'll see. I also feel like this needs something more. Doesn't this need something more in here than just this? Anyway, I'm gonna put that on there as the quote, and then I will figure out what else. That is the other question. Can I find a pen that will write permanently onto here? I'm going to cut this off. Probably. Unless I don't. So what I'm doing is I want to make sure that once I write on here that so okay, so this is going to say fill the pages, paper, fill your paper. With the breathings of William Wordsworth. Okay. Fill your paper with the breathings of your heart. And so the thing I'm going to have to make sure is that I leave enough room so that when there's letters that come down below the line that I'm not going to mess this up too much. I am just going to go for this because that's what I do. That's what I'm going to do. I can make another one. The breathings of fill your paper with the breathings of your heart. William Wordsworth. Okay, So we have now a sentiment written out on vellum. As I was doing that, my mind was elsewhere. I am going to just go down, and where this is like coming up, I'm going to glue this down. Before it drives me absolutely nuts, I am going to do some mark making on top of here as well. So I'm going to tell you, I figured that I needed, I'm going to say 60 quotes for this book. I need actually, I think, 48 quotes to fill this book entirely. And I asked ChatGPT to help me with that. And I said, can you go ahead and, I don't know what's going on over there. So I asked ChatGPT for 60 quotes and to fill this junk journal. I explained it's an inspirations journal. I want to have things that are inspiring to me, and it did write me a lot of journaling inspiring quotes, which I will use some of them. I also have some nature things that I looked up and kind of wanted to do, so I have an idea of what I'm putting in here. That's what I want to say. In case you were wondering, there is some sort of a plan for finishing this journal. It's always good to test things before you go slopping them right into your journal. You may have noticed, I put down some paper the other day for messy projects. Like this, and I really should be kind of wrapping this in deli paper so that I wonder if I've already gotten some of this watercolor over into the other side of this, because that's gonna happen. I'm gonna get a lot of like paint bleed through, I have a feeling, if I'm not super careful. I might actually use black. Want to do just some mark making on this. So this is just acrylic paint, and it's a little bit watered down, and it's in this bottle that's got a really fine tip. And I think I'm going to be brave, and I'm just going to put this on, and I realize that where I write, if it's not on this colored hearts, it's going to be kind of not very dark. I'm just going to put some scribbles because that's what I like to do. This is one of the faster things I will probably ever do, is just do scribbles all over the top of this. And I might do something around the edge, and I'm trying to decide right now if I want to do kind of a black bordering kind of effect, or do some black mark making, or what I want to do. That is definitely going to have to dry now, is it not? Yes, it is. So we're going to let that dry before we do anything else. I might kind of just go back and fill this in a little bit of black or gray around the edges. What do I have? Maybe not. Maybe I will use something more exciting. So now I have drying again to do now that I put acrylic paint, and I probably should have waited and done that like in the very last thing. What are we going to do with this? I was thinking I would just attach it in the center as a whole thing. Maybe not. Maybe we'll do something else. Maybe we will attach this as a flip up. Let me think of something that we could kind of put along the top of here. What's on my desk? That's about as far as I think, is just having things that are already on my desk and tying them down. Let me trim this a little bit more. This would be much easier if I had little punches which I don't, that were heart-shaped. I just looked at all my punches. I don't have a lot of punches. What I do have is this teeny tiny little, very inexpensive die cut machine. And I have in my repertoire hearts that are, I think, very small is what I'm looking for. I have this one. I think I have some smaller ones. That is what I want, I think. And actually, I think is what I want is actually this. Let's do both while we're punching. Let me grab some paper. I have this really cool printed paper that I have been saving up, and it's got lots of cool colors in it, and I think I'm going to find it and pull some out and use it for this. Huzzah! Look at that. That is gorgeous, and it looks so good with this. I like it. That is an extra bit. Just look at these. These are perfect. Which one shall we choose? That's a different thing. Oh, I just saw some more of that. Those are really pretty too. I'm just going to pick the first one. I'm going to pick this one. I love these colors with that. I think it looks great. This is a tiny little die cut machine. It does nothing more than 3 inches across. Let's get all this cleaned off. Throwing everything on the floor right now. That's okay. I'll clean later. It is Wednesday, so I have to take the trash out. So I have 2 choices, this or this, and brilliant. Okay, let's actually put that so it'll be in there. So this will cut 4 different hearts, and this will cut this whole bit across is one piece. Hopefully, let's try it. Let's see if it's going to work. We might have to. Sometimes I have to put 2 pieces of paper for it to cut all the way through, and sometimes it just depends on the die. I think these are going to be really, really fun, and you know what? I'm going to be really fussy. I want that down there where that kind of all those colors are. Okay. Just 'cause that's what we're doing, my friends. Getting all those colors. Is it cutting? Is it cutting? Okay. Ha! Look at that. It did it. It did it. It did it. Okay, so now we have these cute little hearts. I might run it again just because while I'm here, I have kind of totally wasted all my paper. This can come out. It's got these handy dandy little poking holes, so if I just grab my awl, I can get those out relatively easily. Okay, so that is more or less what I was looking for, and I like that a lot. I think that will probably be what I'm going to use. And I have all these cute little hearts and all these little colors. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Aren't those adorable? Okay. Oh, I love doing this. This makes me so happy, guys. I'm just thrilled. I'm glad I bothered to get the die cut machine out to get the thing that I wanted. I didn't place that. I placed it on there totally to get what I wanted. And I am going to run this through one more time while I have it out. Just in case, you know, just in case I realize again that that is not what I wanted exactly. And then I have an extra. While I have the machine out, bear with me. See, if I usually move this all the way to the edge of the paper, but so that I'm not wasting things. Also, sometimes I use the hearts like that. The negatives can be used. Okay. Which I'm sure you guys already know. Simple, easy things. So, is this a simple, easy thing? I don't know. I have to get it into the machine without moving it now. Because if it moves at all, it's not going to make. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I'm shaking the whole table. I know you're connected to the table. Okay, but this is good because, you know, we needed for this paint to dry now anyway. And we now have another set of hearts in case we want. I'll save these. I'll definitely save them in my book of ephemeras, which is over there, and use them. And that's also just, look at how pretty. Look at how pretty this is. Okay. Pop it out. This is double-sided paper, so we have two beautiful sides to play with. That one's got a really swoopy color. Which one do we like more? Which one? Which one? These are our choices at this point. We also have these choices. They all look great. Together. They all look fantastic. It's just a matter of which one we like the most. Just poking out. These are like little button hearts. That is adorable. It's got like a little stitch mark. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a little stitch mark around some of these. And it is just adorable. I'm going to save those though. I don't want to today. I'm in like apparently a mood to just kind of like finish something. I understand why. It's because I feel like I'm feeling like I'm under a lot of pressure to get a lot of things done. So now I must choose A or B or C or D. Well, I don't think D. I don't like how that is all cut up. So D is out, guys. Just because it's not my favorite, and I can tell you that right now. And I think it's going to be, I think we might stick with, this is A. I think we're going to go with B. I really love that swooping and the way that it kind of ties all of these hearts together. I really like that. I do think that maybe I want to go in and just, I'm going to try this on the side and see. if I can outline these hearts just using a pen and not have it be, I think it'll be better. Wonder how I get little tiny pieces of paper all over my desk. Now you know. Why? What is going on here? So I think is what I really want to do is I kind of want to outline the hearts so that it looks like some of these are like on top of others. And it gives them a little bit more form. I realize I'm being super... It's attention to detail. You know what? That's what it is. And the attention to detail here is what's going to make us or break us. It's either going to make this page or it's going to break this page. One of the two, but it's happening. I just think that, like, without this, it wouldn't be as good. Would not be as good. You can see from the die cut just barely where these hearts go as they cross. And so I'm really just kind of working to enhance what's already there. And make it so that, you know, you don't have to put your nose up to it in order to see it. Now you can see it from the back of a galloping horse. And I should probably be easier for me if I found a pen that was a little bit thicker. Maybe. I don't know. This pen is just not as juicy as, you know, one might like. You're just choosing which heart is kind of on top and which one is kind of behind. So the big one's in front and the little one's behind. The little ones are kind of out in front. Okay. I think this big heart is on top. Big heart on top is a little bit easier because this big heart. Okay, so this wave going through these hearts can like represent the breath that's in the quote, right? Because our quote says, fill your paper with the breathings of your heart. Does that not just make you want to go get your journal and write the breathings of your heart? It does me. I wish I had all the time in the world. I just need more days, longer days, so that I can do all of the things that I want to do. As I sit here, really kind of using too small a pen to do this, and probably not the right pen to outline my little hearts. That's okay. I'm waiting for my paint to dry. It's not dry yet. I just looked at it. It is not yet dry, so I have time. I'm fine. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this last one quickly, and I think I'm also going to get a piece of lace and attach to the bottom of this. Okay, so that's that, and so now we have that, and what I'm going to do is I am going to use this, I think, and I'm going to attach this to there because I think that is good. Okay. How do we want to do this? That's fine. It's going to look great. So I'm going to attach that to that piece of graph paper, and it's just a leftover piece of graph paper that I had sitting on my desk for something else. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I'm going to stick this in here, but I want to make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to cut off a little bit on this side and probably a little bit on this side so it's a little more centered. I'm going to cut off my extra pen mark where I was testing my pen, and maybe here. Okay. I think it's still a little wet right there where it's blobby, but I think it's all on that side. Yeah, I think that that's going to work, and if I cut it at least some down on the side, I still have enough. And then I'm going to put that in there, and then that will be attached here like that. So let me cut this down. Okay, now that I've been cutting, I cut it down, and then I decided at the very last one that, yeah, why don't we rip that? Why not? So just to give it a little bit more of a junk journal kind of a vibe, right? Ripping is good. Ripping is very good. And actually, and hopefully now it's not going to be too small. It's going to be fine. We're going to make it work. I kind of wanted it a little bit bigger than that, honestly, I think. And I think instead of putting, This is a very cute, sweet page. I don't usually work with hearts like this, honestly. Where did my other piece of vellum go that we didn't like? That was, well, the piece that we liked so much, but then didn't want to use because it was, what if I rip a piece of this off and use it as a layering piece? This is just such pretty, pretty vellum, and I love it so much. And I am going to attach this at the bottom of this, just because. Now I need something to go over on the other side over here. So I'm just going to attach that at the bottom. We'll attach that at the top. Let's do that. What are we going to do at this side? I can make some bigger hearts, and we can do bigger hearts out of the same paper and make a border over there. That could be fun. And it would be in line with what we're already working on. So we'll just put some blue. Or do you think we're done? Do you think we've had enough? Quite enough already. Get that in there so it's in there. And then that can be just glued in. And I think it's very pretty. Oh, here we go. Okay. That's what we're going to do with this other piece of vellum. Tear this down. Okay, I'm going to attach that because I have not attached that yet. So we have used hearts, and we've used this vellum to kind of, and maybe this, that kind of symbolizes the lightness and the breathiness of this. We have paper. We've played around with like a whole bunch of different papers, filling it with color and life and vibrancy. We have definitely done a good job of listening to our dear William Wordsworth, and we are doing this. So I'm just going to make a little bit of like art out of this vellum pieces. And then I'm going to put a few little of these hearts over here floating around. And I think we're going to call this pretty much a done page, unless I decide to come back and just ink around some of this around the page, or fill it with something just around the edges. And I think I'm going to do that, and I think all my paint is now dried. So let me do that before I do this. And I think here's what I was going to do. I have some chalks that I have never used. So let's get that out and play with that. Doo-doo. Have these Jane Davenport pastels, and I'm just going to apply them with a Q-tip. I think that'll be great. And I'm just going to make kind of a little bit of a border and fill in the edge of this page to kind of help it feel a little bit more finished. Open, open. Do we know how to open these? I'm pretty sure this is just it. Should just pop right open. There it goes. And it eventually does. I think you can probably apply these dry, and you can probably apply these wet. There's no directions on the back. I'm just going to fill in with some pink. Back to the feeling like we need more pink. And I'm just going to kind of work this in however it wants to work in. And I'm going to create just a little bit of a background. and just really around the edges to give this kind of a border where this page lives. I am super big on borders. I guess I could switch the colors, but hey. This is, I think, a pretty simple and easy page to do. We did a background with the hearts. We did our sentiment or inspiration or whatever we want to call it. I think we kind of missed an opportunity right there. Oh, look, I'm doing the next page. Oh, okay, the next page is going to be all started. Good. Good, good, good. I was thinking I chopped off this heart, but I did it just fine. Don't worry. Okay, this Q-tip is about to give up, so I think we're about done. Just working that in. It's just very cool. I look forward to working on these a little bit more. That was fun. Just fun. I love the hearts. I don't often do something so heart-centric. But today, that's what it was. So I'm gonna just take these little bits of vellum. I'm gonna put down in this corner just so this other page is not completely empty, and to give it a little bit more of a 3D effect. Very fun, very nice. This vellum is so pretty. So pretty. Just scrunching it down. Okay. This is going to take me like 6 years to complete this journal. Hopefully going forward, if I get a little bit more organized on what I want to do exactly, this is fine. This was wonderful. I hope you enjoyed being here today and spending a little bit of time doing some crafty things. I need some string because I can't have buttonholes without string. Where is my little box of stringlets and thinglets? Here we go. Here we go. This'll work. I like this big one because it's not They gave me buttonholes, so I have to fill the buttonholes. I hope you enjoyed making this page today with me, and I hope you will come back and we can do more pages. All I'm going to be doing is filling this with beautiful, beautiful pages that have inspirations as the focal point for these pages, and hopefully at the end this will be a book of inspirations. And I hope that you guys also have a book of inspirations, even if it's just a place where you write down quotes. I have other books where I have written down quotes too in the past, and this one I am going to remember to go and scissors write in my journal more. Because like I said, I think that it just helps me to stay on track and to keep on track and do the things that are really important and not get off track when I journal more. Buttons must have threads, right? That's what I'm saying. This is such a lovely yarn. I use this for binding books a lot, and it's, I think, a linen yarn, and it is so pretty and so nice to work with. It's just a pretty, like, kind of muted blue-gray color. It kind of just goes with everything. Let's see if we can make a knot. I think we need 3. Two littles and a big, or 2 littles and it's 2 bigs and a little. Like that one. I think it has colors in it the other big one doesn't have. Okay. Doo-doo-doo. I split the thread after the first one. It's so much easier to I should have picked a die that didn't have holes in it. Okay. Because if it didn't have holes in it, then I wouldn't have to do this. But because it has buttonholes, it's gotta have a thread. Or else it just won't look finished. It's all about the details. Little tiny details. Okay. Oh, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's about doing the big things and not fussing around with the little, filling every little hole, buttonhole with a thread. Also, I mean, had I only, okay. And so these are all gonna kind of live over here in this corner somewhere. They're gonna be cute, and they're gonna be wonderful. And they're gonna give a little bit more dimension to this page. I don't know, maybe I should have something else on here. I hope you had fun here today. I hope you enjoyed doing a little bit of color play. I definitely, as I have already mentioned, was looking forward to very much starting out in this journal and just playing with these pages and seeing really where they would go. I made a little bit of ephemera. On the next page, I think I'm going to pick a quote and I'm going to pick a picture and then glue everything down. It'll be faster. So I'll have a center point ready to go when I do the next page. Maybe I'll do a couple. I would really like to just kind of go through a couple of pages, but I love this. This is beautiful. It's kind of meaningful. It's got a quote by William Wordsworth. Fill your paper with the breathings of your heart. And we have heart and we have breath represented, and I think it's just very lovely, and it was just really great for me to be able to kind of play around and do something fun and simple in this journal and my Maximal journal, which is starting to fill in. I hope you'll join me next time at Scrapcraft and Stitchery. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next time. Bye!